right, black and white sports supporters. Well, if there was ever a reason for Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and whoever else that doesn't want to get the absolute crap beat out of them, if there was ever a reason to not play an Unrivaled, this would be it. Besides that, and it's 3x3 basketball that sucks. Nobody's watching. These people.
Marina made charge at Courtney Williams with a blur of motion, and the court erupted, not with a buzzer beater, but with pure, unadulterated chaos that stunned everyone, especially the few fans in attendance. Williams braced herself, but Mabrey was already in her face, words flying and bodies colliding in a shocking display. This wasn't basketball anymore. It was a bare-knuckle brawl unfolding in an instant, leaving everyone frozen in disbelief. The tension was palpable, a stark reminder of the simmering rivalries lurking beneath the surface.
Playing Unrivaled, this would be it. Besides that, and it's 3x3 basketball that sucks. Nobody's watching. These people, these women are out there really, they're scrapping. Over 110,000 viewers. How many people do you think watched last night Unrivaled basketball with the national championship game between what's going to be the number one overall pick in the NFL draft versus the Miami Hurricanes? Did Unrivaled even get 60,000 viewers last night? You got to wonder. You got to wonder.
This explosive confrontation immediately raised the question. Is this why Caitlin Clark refuses to touch Unrivaled? Her calculated absence from the league suddenly made perfect sense. The risk of getting caught in such unnecessary, aggressive drama is far too high for a superstar already targeted on a regular basis. Why subject herself to a league seemingly built on petty grievances and physical altercations rather than actual basketball? Clark's decision now reads less like avoidance and more like strategic self-preservation, a deliberate move to protect both her brand and her body from the relentless aggression she would inevitably face. Her non-participation speaks volumes about the true nature of Unrivaled.
The Matrix and myself member video went up today. So we all remember the thug known as Marina Mabrey. That's right. Oh my goodness. That white trash herself. Marina Mabrey, of course, played with the Connecticut Sun last year. We all remember the shove to the ground, the slam to the ground. Let's call it what it is. She runs full steam into the ground into Caitlin Clark. And this, of course, this was the J.C. Sheldon game. This was the game where Sophie Cunningham...
Unrivaled, the 3x3 league, continues to struggle for relevance, drawing barely tens of thousands of viewers, if that. By comparison, the NFL Draft's national championship game pulls in over 110,000, while Unrivaled barely registers on the radar. Marketed as a basketball league, many now see it as little more than a desperate attempt to manufacture drama. The games resemble a facsimile of basketball, with scrapping and confrontations taking center stage. This raises serious questions about the product they are presenting and the audience they are trying to attract. Is it truly about sport or a calculated spectacle of staged conflict? The numbers speak for themselves, exposing a profound lack of interest.
Again, if you want to know why Caitlin Clark's not playing in this league, Exhibit A. I mean, why play in a league with mainly a bunch of players that can't stand you? Because that's really sort of what Unrivaled is. It's made up of a bunch of, I mean, that little minority, I'm saying minority, fandom that's left, the original old WNBA fans, they must love Unrivaled because it's just a bunch of, yeah, I guess you can call.
Marina Mabrey's reputation precedes her, especially when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Many still recall the infamous incident where Mabrey didn't just push Clark. She slammed her to the ground during a previous game. It wasn't a play. It was an assault, a blunt message delivered with brute force. This pattern of aggression is far from new and has become a recurring theme in Mabrey's on-court behavior, painting her as a player notorious for crossing the line. Her recent outburst against Courtney Williams only reinforces this troubling reputation, proving that past actions are a clear predictor of future conduct. Mabrey is a known agitator.
Got a Brittany Griner sighting. Courtney Williams. Isn't she a stud, bud? Am I going crazy? Yeah. And what kills me? You get the sense this is exactly what Unrivaled wants. That like this, they think this is basketball. That this is basketball right here. I mean, yeah, I don't want to watch that crap. Seriously. By the way, that happened in front of tens and tens of people out there.
That violent encounter between Mabrey and Clark, where Clark was slammed to the floor, occurred during the same J.C. Sheldon game. It was a moment etched into fans' memories, showcasing the raw, often ugly intensity surrounding Mabrey and what many described as her blatant trashiness. She rushed in, making a forceful, physical statement with her body. This wasn't a basketball move. It was a deliberate act of aggression, leaving Clark vulnerable on the ground. The incident was a blatant exhibition of disregard for sportsmanship, reinforcing the narrative of Clark as a constant target on the court. The footage still shocks viewers to this day.
Maybe. They will no sooner get it signed, and Caitlin Clark will be back on the court, and we will begin, the head hunting will begin of the Indiana Fever superstar. It will all begin again. The mistreatment, the thuggery, all of that. I've said before, she played how many games last year? And there was 4 incidents out of 13, 15 games? It was like every third game there was a situation.
That same J.C. Sheldon game also saw Sophie Cunningham execute her controversial Steven Sagawakito move near the end, adding yet another layer of animosity and questionable sportsmanship to the unfolding drama. The moment became a flashpoint, highlighting the intense rivalries and the physical nature of competition that often teetered on outright aggression, especially whenever Caitlin Clark was involved. The atmosphere was charged, with multiple players seemingly taking issue with Clark, creating a setting where physical altercations felt almost inevitable. This wasn't just a game, it was a battlefield, and Clark was squarely in the crosshairs. The tension was palpable, that was undeniable.
Clark fans, why Indiana Fever fans are not tuning into this game, this basketball? If I'm trying to watch basketball, I'm not trying to see all this extracurricular crap on the court. The trash-tasticness of all of it. But there's a section of the fandom that want, this is what they want out of their entertainment product. Look, if I'm looking for things like this, I'm turning it to the WWE. We're watching the real stuff. Well, they're not real, but you get my point. At least I know.
The theory persists that Caitlin Clark avoids Unrivaled because the league is filled with players who clearly can't stand her. It's an environment where past grievances and simmering animosities don't just exist. They seem to be tolerated, if not outright encouraged. Why would a player of Clark's caliber willingly step into a lion's den, where the primary objective for some appears to be targeting her rather than playing competitive basketball? Her decision underscores the toxic undercurrents many see pervading parts of women's basketball, particularly outside the traditional WNBA structure. It's a stark reflection of how personal rivalries can overshadow the sport itself.
Okay. Now, Brittany, forgive me. You didn't want to go play in Russia this offseason? Oh, is that too soon? I don't know. I'm sure they still got basketball over there. Right? Personally speaking, I probably wouldn't take no treats with you. You know, I guarantee you what I'm saying right here, I will lose subscribers for saying that. It is what it is. I mean, let's be real. Before Caitlin Clark come around, that was the WNBA's claim to fame. Brittany Griner got locked up.
A small but vocal segment of fans reportedly loves Unrivaled, relishing the scrapping and physical confrontations. But for most, it's chaos masquerading as basketball. The latest brawl between Marina Mabrey and Courtney Williams started with a loaded challenge. Are you about that life? And quickly escalated into full-blown physicality. Bodies collided, tempers flared, and what followed went far beyond fair play, with even notable players like Brittany Gurrier caught in the chaos. Critics argue this kind of manufactured aggression is exactly what Unrivaled seems to want. Open drama will translate into ratings, yet viewership remains astonishingly low, showing fans aren't buying it. Marina Mabrey's repeated aggression, from slamming Caitlin Clark to attacking Williams, highlights a troubling pattern of disregard for sportsmanship. These violent spectacles not only fail to draw viewers, they alienate Clark's fans and those seeking real basketball talent. Unlike WWE, this chaos isn't staged. It undermines the sport, blurring the line between competition and gratuitous violence. Ultimately, incidents like this hurt women's basketball more than they help, proving that manufactured drama can never replace star power, skill, and genuine competition.